Welcome back to Small Caps. My name is Kerry Stevenson, and today delighted to be speaking with Johann Jacobs. He is with King Island Scheelite, and if you don't know them, the ASX code is KIS, KISS without the double S. Tungsten in Tasmania. Great to see you, Johann. Lots to talk about today. Let's get straight into it. You published a revised feasibility study in December, and that has actually significantly improved the numbers for the project. Can we just talk through that to start off with?
Yes, thank you very much, Kerry. Thanks for the interview. Yes, we published that study in December. A couple of significant changes from the previous feasibility study. The first one is that the net present value has increased very significantly, in fact, by 65%. And that primarily is due to the fact that we've increased the length of the mine life from 8 years open cut to 14 years, combination of open cut 8 years and underground 6 years. Significantly, as we go underground, although the mining costs are slightly higher than open cut, the grade increases from about 0.7% average for the open cut to 1.24% for the underground. So that has been a very significant shift in the mine plan, and obviously we've increased through that our reserves from 2.9 million to 4.5 million tonnes. So that has been a great increase for the company and a great improvement in value for shareholders. The other change that we incorporated into the feasibility study was a revised flow sheet from previously being gravity together with flotation. We now concentrating primarily on gravity separation. We are at this stage, we have a new machine on the waters coming across to Australia from the UK, which we're going to test in live and real size, whereas previously all our tests have been done at laboratory scale. The grade and recoveries through this new machine has proved very, very significant. And what we're going to be trialling in Burnie is merely the throughput capacity of this machine as to whether we need 8 or 12 or 14 of these machines. But that increase or improvement in the flow sheet will give us significantly higher recovery and grade.
Well, I want to talk some of the numbers around the project at the moment, because recently you announced that you had a $10 million loan from the Tasmanian government, which actually gives it a lot of, I guess, having that state support enables you, I guess, to have lenders will actually look at this and say, well, there's government support for this project, so this is a strong measure of support. Let's talk some of the finance and the metrics around the project and what you're looking to do, when you're looking to close, how much you need to be able to get this project into the commissioning stage, and when you're looking to do that by.
Yes, Kerry, thanks. The actual capital cost of getting this mine back into production is around 75 million Australian dollars. That is total capital cost, so there's no hidden leasing costs or contract mining or anything. That is a total capital cost. On top of that, we will need working capital and pre-development capital, which will be about 10 million. So total funding that we're looking at is about 85 million Australian. The loan offer from the Tasmanian state government has been very, very welcome, and we are greatly appreciative for their efforts in granting us that loan, because it does form the cornerstone of our funding moving forward. We have mandated a company to secure project debt funding for us, and then dependent on the quantum of that, we will obviously have to do some equity raising as well to top it up to the 85. In terms of timing on that, we are hoping to certainly conclude all the capital or funding arrangements by the end of May. Once we've achieved that, it will be a 15-month procurement, construction, and commissioning phase, which will take us through to October, November 22, before we ship the first concentrate off the island.
So this is quite this is a very tight time frame, but a good time frame from a shareholder point of view, because as soon as you start to ship that concentrate, the revenues start to flow through.
Absolutely, and it is reality dependent on finance, of course, because we have all our EPA approvals, we have mining license, so we are shovel ready other than for funding the project. We have secured 2 offtake arrangements for our product. So we have about 70% of our product sold forward for between 3 and 4 years. That the first offtake arrangement there is with the European APT producers. So they will take our concentrate, convert that into powders for the tungsten industry, for the metal industry, and those powders are used to harden the metal and to use for cutting tools in a number of different areas. Tungsten is obviously or has been recognized by a number of countries worldwide, as well as our own federal government, as being a critical mineral. In the Australian context, of the 24 critical minerals that the federal government has identified, tungsten is in the top 10.
Wow.
So we are continuing discussions with the colleagues in Critical Minerals Facilitation Office in Canberra to see how and whether they can assist in supporting the project moving forward.
And it just, I think it's really interesting. Right now, China, I think, has about 82% currently of all global output of tungsten. Is that correct?
That's correct. And apart from being 82% of the output, they also consume 82% of the tungsten. So all the tungsten that they produce, they consume internally. Clearly, that is a lot of that goes into cutting tools, but the cutting tools are then exported. So the consumption in the industry, it's known as first line consumption, is in China, but then the final product that they produce actually goes off overseas.
So, Johann, in terms of the price for tungsten currently, is it strengthening at the moment? What's the supply-demand outlook?
So, before the COVID pandemic, the price was at about $240 per metric ton unit. Over the period, over the last 12 months, it's declined to just above 200. But today, the price has recovered, and today it's sitting at between $250 US and $255 US per metric ton unit. So it's gone through the COVID decline and come out stronger on the other side. And the analysts, market analysts for the product, are certainly predicting that up to the sort of $300 US per metric ton unit and higher.
And what will your cost of production be? Do you
Our
have
cost of production will be sub $100 US per metric ton unit.
So a nice margin there.
Absolutely, and a great buffer for any potential or possible price declines going into the future.
Now, your share price has been very strong lately, given the fact that we have a very large investor audience. What would you say to investors right now that are watching this interview and looking at the ASX KIS share price and saying, is now a good time to come into your King Island Scheelite project?
Well, I believe that we've just scratched the surface with news flow. We are looking, as I said earlier, to reach financial close by the end of May. And we are continuing discussions with Critical Minerals Office. So those are two potential announcements that should be coming out in the next 2 to 3 months. And then obviously financial close, and then getting into the construction or procurement and then construction. So what that means for the Tasmanian government as well, and the Tasmanian community, is significant work employment opportunities on the island in Tasmania, where a lot of the equipment will be procured from. The other major source of equipment will come out of Victoria, so there will be jobs all around for the Victoria, Tasmania, and federal states. So I think it's a good time to be getting into the stock as we progress to reach financial close.
Well, Johann, I also think it's fantastic that you're going to be you've got the offtake, 70%'s done. The other thing that you said, when we last spoke, you had an 8-year mine life. It's now 14-year mine life. Your cost of production is sub 100 when you've got the cost down and the prices are going up. Sounds like all the ducks are lining up in a row for you, and I look forward to all the news coming out in the near future. Good luck with it all, and I look forward to talking to you in the near future. Thanks for chatting to Small Caps today.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Much appreciated.